we could hand. Oh yes, yeah, recording, lovely. Yeah, but Linda, I wonder if we could hand over to you in the first instance, just so you could share your thoughts on what you're doing at the Town Council.
Okay, thanks, Jade. I've just asked to speak for just a couple of minutes, so I'll try and keep it short. So there's a little bit of background. November 2019, Sevenoaks Town Council resolved to make the following its #1 priority: to recognise the government and KCC declarations for aiming for zero carbon, and to integrate this within the vision and throughout its neighbourhood development plan, which is currently in draft, and within the Town Council's general operations. So as Dawn said, a thread through everything we do. Unfortunately, the pandemic has disrupted much of the original plans. However, we have had some time to refocus some of the other activities that we're doing. So for those who don't know, the Neighbourhood Development Plan is a planning document for the next 20 years for Sevenoaks Town, not the district. So we completely revamped that and throughout that changed it to be climate change to be its #1 priority. And then other practical things that we've done in the meantime is we've produced a green community investment plan. It's not very glamorous, but it details all the practical measures that we are putting out, and I'll send that to Catherine again so it can be recirculated. And it covers a very, very wide range of different things because we do a lot of different things. We've built a new bat and ball centre, which is as eco-friendly as it possibly could be, starting with the fact that it used the original foundations and the original carcass of the building. We've installed additional cycle racks and cycle planters. We're very much involved in the Darren Valley Community Rail Partnership. We've installed electric charging points at one of our assets, and we're soon to have another one. And vehicle that we've built during the last 2 years have been electric vehicle, planted hundreds of trees and launched an Adopt a Tree project, also a Give It a Grow project. Within our planting within the town, we do edible planting. We have environmental policies now for when we're recommending planning applications. We're promoting the refill scheme, Sevenoaks Plastic Free Pledge, and involving young people and trying to assist local businesses. So there's a lot to do and a lot that we're trying to do, but we do try and remember that we are still a very small council, local authority, and we are looking at not just making grand statements, but practical measures that we can do locally within our resources. The Friends of the Earth states, for example, parish and town councils may not be as powerful as local authorities, but they can do their bit in addressing climate and nature emergency and be a force for change. And our overall aim is to put in place affordable and practical initiatives with long-term green benefits for the local community, support and encourage residents to pursue individually little steps together, as we say, to create a bigger change. And there's a lot more to read on that, obviously, in the Green Community Investment Plan, which goes on for about 20 pages. And very soon we'll be launching a survey to the community, which we wanted to collect community data so we have a baseline so that we can review in a year or 2 years' time to see if any of these initiatives have made a real difference. Thanks.
Lovely, thanks, Linda. That was really, really interesting. I don't know if some of those projects that you mentioned, we could perhaps, when we get to the knowledge sharing, we could come back to those because they might be a great thing to put onto the website if other businesses can get involved, like with your tree planting initiative or something like that. Yeah, that'd be good. We'll come back to that later. Lovely, thank you. Any questions for Linda? No, well, I think some great work, some really great work there, and some really great steps already implemented. So, no, it's really, really good to see that. Thank you. So the next guest that we've got to say a few words is Dale from EQ Investors. Again, Dale kind of shared that they were experiencing some benefits. She put down the employee and customer engagement on their sustainable actions. So I'm just going to hand over to Dale now just to share a few words about what they've been up to.
Thanks, Jade. Morning, everyone, and congratulations, Sevenoaks Chamber, for launching the first Sustainability Forum. I think it's brilliant to see, and there's a lot of people joining, which is fantastic. So thanks for having us all. As Jade mentioned, I work for a company called EQ Investors. We're a financial planning and investment management firm. Just a little bit about the business for some context. We are a founding member of B Corp. We've signed up to Climate Action 100. We're staff owned, and we've pledged to be net zero by 2030. And how we work with our clients is we help them to plan their financial future, all the while considering their sustainability. So we help our clients to invest their ISAs, pensions, and savings into investments that are avoiding harm, so stripping out all the worst offenders. But we can take it one step further and invest in companies that are contributing to solutions to some of the global and environmental challenges that we're facing today. So we're able to really align their values with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, but without compromising on their return and their financial plan. As Jade mentioned, we've actually seen it's been really beneficial for the business, and it's been beneficial on three sort of fronts. The first is that we regularly win clients who are looking to align their values with a company that sort of has the same value behind them. So as a result, we've sort of seen our assets under management and net inflows in the last few years increase exponentially. And then the other two benefits, which I think are really exciting, is the industry has now started to see what we're doing in the sustainability front. So we're regularly approached by companies, external fund managers, and other IFAs on how they can improve their sustainability credentials. And our team is very happy to help with this. And the last is employees. We found that we've been able to recruit very strong employees who stay with us for a long time because there's this value alignment. So certainly from our perspective, although it's a financial planning business, we've seen that the sustainability approach has been very beneficial and exciting, actually.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you, Dale. I think two really different kind of takes on how beneficial being more sustainable is in business. So thank you both. There's plenty of time to kind of talk in the next section. So, please, we are going to go into one breakout room in due course. So please, any more stories to share, please do, use that time as well, just to talk about anything that's been going on in your business. So I guess the next question to start considering, and this kind of ties into how sharing resources can help you all and the wider members. But what kind of barriers do you think there are for SMEs to engage with being sustainable or reaching net zero? I don't know if people just want to unmute themselves. I'm just going to make some notes anyway as we're going. But if anyone kind of sees anything that they want to perhaps share that as to why they think SMEs are struggling on this journey.
Could I say something, Jade?
Yeah, please do.
Hi, everybody. I'm Roger McCurley from the Environmental Business Network. We're a UK's only I'll describe it, cross-sector, pan-sector business platform for businesses that want to get started, right through to people who know what they're doing on environmental issues. I think one of the key things with the SME space is two things that we encounter. The first is a general lack of awareness and knowledge of what this whole thing actually means. And it's, the way I describe it is at the moment, it's kind of like a meteor war going on in space. And we look outside our windows and it looks all calm and collected to us. But there is a storm going on up there. At some stage, it's going to come thundering down and impact upon us. So I think there is a real kind of sense of people think, well, what's this all about? Where do I start and how do I learn about it? I think the other thing is there is a fear that it's going to cost a lot of money. The big drive around sustainability and the whole ESG agenda is systemic change, is the trend that people will be talking about. The business has got to systematically change everything, which implicitly means that's going to cost a lot of money. And people are fearful of that. And I think the third thing is that the expression, the race to net zero, is in reality a brisk walk. And when you've got China and India talking about 2060, 2070 before they get anywhere near net zero, it's so easy for businesses, particularly SMEs, that we're all struggling to keep afloat and make a profit. It's very easy to just go, oh, it's not my problem. Even 2030 seems quite a long way away. So I think those are, in our experience of the EBN, those are the three barriers: the lack of awareness, it's not actually happening, is it going to cost me a lot of money, and what do I do about it? And I think the three key things. Jade, is it all right if I tell you, you and I talked about what I'm going to do with the EBN? Is it okay if I say something now?
Oh, please do. Yeah.
So this is not a sales plug, because this isn't going to cost anything. Typically the model we had with the EBN is that people pay to be members, and Jade is one of those members. But we've had lots of pressure from our sponsors and supporters that they think we need to widen access for everybody to understand what this journey is about. So we're going to be launching a free, what we call community member level, which means everybody here can join. If you want to join it, just email me and we'll do the rest. And you'll get a certain amount of information, maybe not as much as Jade and other members will, but enough to kind of start you on that journey. And our goal in that sense with the SME space is to try and demystify it, but also to talk about where are the business opportunities. And I'll say just one more thing and then I will shut up. But echoing what Dale said, I think is everything she said absolutely chimes. And I'm so glad to hear that. I'd like to pick up with you outside this, Dale. Maybe we could run a feature on you guys. But I was with a new client the other day who's in the employee benefits sector, new in my marketing business. And we were talking about what does ESG mean from their point of view. And, they've got 20 people. They're in a serviced office in London. Ostensibly, there aren't that many things they can do themselves towards reducing their emissions, which is true, but they still need to try. But the important thing was we were able to, or are working on them with a plan about how they can take sustainable employee menus to their clients, who in turn can offer those to their employees. And there's enough evidence, as Dale just said there, about certainly the next generation want to know the ethics of the businesses they're investing. So the point there is that whether your business can do a huge amount individually to make a difference, yes, you should be doing that anyway. But actually, the question to ask yourself is, in the process of what you do, how can you help clients to reduce their own emissions and make a difference, and potentially put yourselves in the shop window to gain competitive advantage. And a little plug for Rachel and Leverett's down there. They've just put in place some fantastic new environmentally biodegradable business cards. And it's those little things that you said, Dawn, early on, the little things multiplied by millions of times that make a difference. So anyway, sorry, speech over, but those are some of the issues that we're facing, Jade. I'll shut up now.
Oh, lovely. In fact, Rachel, did you want to share that? Did you say you've got some sustainable business cards?
Roger with the details more than me, but it's made by a company who have their own wind turbine that produces their own electricity to make their beautiful business cards. And it's just a talking point and an opportunity to share some of our journey with clients.
Mm. Oh no, that is really, I mean, people use business cards, they still use business cards. So I think it's a great place to start. So, no, it's good. It's good. I have an alternative that's a reusable business card, so I like to hear different ones. So great. Is anyone else, does anyone else kind of hear anything, hear anything in their networks that they perhaps want to, like Roger said, lack of knowledge, where do you start, costs? Anyone else want to share any thoughts? Oh, Paul, yeah.
Yeah, really just sort of following on really from some of the points that Roger was making. I mean, here at Wilden Properties, for those who don't know us, we're a landlord, and I did have a quick chat with Roger back at the Swanley Expo, and so I was sort of struggling to get engagement, because one of the things we can do is we've got 90 tenants, so if we can change the way our 90 tenants live and work, that would be quite a make much more of a change than changing the light bulbs in our office, for example. And we've been trying to get sort of some buy-in and engagement from tenants. And This may sound a small thing, but this is how we tried to stick our toe in the water, really. Before Christmas, we offered to put in electric hand dryers at every tenant's commercial premises who still use paper towels. And disappointingly, the take up was quite small. Only about 4 or 5 tenants came back and said they'd like to take up the offer. And even one of those tenants said, well, if it helps you, I'll be happy to do it. And well, no, the idea is it's helping you make a contribution towards sustainability. So this is the thing, you know, I'd like some tips on really trying to crack. How do I engage all the people that I work with? I mean, similar to the tradesmen that we use. You know, I've spoken to the plumber and the electrician about whether they've got any plans to get an electric vehicle, and they've looked at me as if to say, you know, I only just make enough money to put food on the table. I'm not going to spend money on that. It's how I try to engage with people, and that's the thing I'm really trying to crack at the moment. How to get the buy-in.
Yeah, I guess especially if you're, you know, like Roger said, you know, sometimes SMEs are kind of just making enough money. Electric vehicles cost, the cost is quite high. I wonder whether just kind of, because I was talking to a client about it for a delivery company, but whether you, if possible, if jobs aren't urgent, that they're kind of planned into a route so it's not kind of coming out of their way, therefore kind of using less emissions doing one trip, they're out doing multiple trips, linking together. But yeah, anyone else kind of experienced anything like Paul with any supply, you know, with their supply chain that they're kind of engaging with them?
Okay, sorry, Jay, could I just, I don't want to dive in too much, but I think, Paul, one of the things that I would say, I totally get that, and it is about those very, very small businesses, the S end of SME, that are going to be latest to this, I think. But I think there's a carrot and a stick to this whole thing, and the stick very much is if you are in the supply chain of a large organisation at some stage, even if you're a secondary or third supplier to that, the change that they will demand is coming without shadow of doubt, and it'll come like a runaway train at some stage, and they will be looking to those businesses in their supply chain and saying, and what are you doing about transitioning towards net zero? And if you want to remain in our supply chain, that'll be public sector, which Linda might be able to verify, as well as private sector. Then it's that change is coming down their track. So sooner or later, they're going to have to be doing it. So the sooner they start thinking about it and taking up offers like yours, then, you know, it's making a small gestures, but move in the right direction.
And Margaret's just shared a link actually in the chat. There's businesses can apply for a grant to trial an electric van for their businesses. So that could be something really useful there to pass on as well, Paul, which should, I'll share that around. We'll share that around afterwards. Lovely. I think Laura wanted to say something. I know Linda as well, but I think Laura had her hand up first. So please fire away, Laura.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, so I just wanted to come in on what you were saying about what the challenges might be for SMEs. And so I'm from a group called Sevenoaks Climate Action Network. And what we're doing is trying to basically bring people together across Sevenoaks, individuals, businesses, councils, everybody to address climate change. And one of the things I think that we've found is bringing people together and collaborating is so empowering. And I think as an SME, let alone an individual, the sort of changes that we need to make can be quite scary. And you know, someone mentioned about, you know, people feeling like, where do they start? And it can also feel a bit insignificant to just change your own, you know, your own ways, your own habits, your own business processes. So bringing together you know, everyone who's in the same position empowers people and enables people to feel that their effort isn't the only effort towards this goal of 2030 net zero, and that we're all working together. So that really makes you feel like everything you're doing has more impact and empowers people. So I think that concept of just networking and collaboration is really just powerful in itself.
Lovely. I mean, do you want to give a little bit more detail before you go on? Because I had you kind of down just to kind of talk a little bit more about the Sevenoaks Can, because you've got different sectors, haven't you, that you kind of look at. Did you want to, as you're kind of talking, did you want to give a little bit more detail? It'd be lovely to hear.
So Sevenoaks Climate Action Network evolved just quite organically last year with a group of people from different areas in Sevenoaks who all felt like we needed to do something bigger and, like I say, more collaboratively to address climate change. So we kind of started by just having like a Zoom meeting and just throwing ideas into the mix of how we could help people in the district. We then had a launch event in November, the beginning of November. And what we did was we had it was in person. So we had these separate tables dealing with different subjects. So there'd be food, transport, energy, all the different kinds of issues. I think there were 10 or 12 subjects. And then what we did was had a look at what challenges that we faced around those subjects with regards to reducing carbon footprints. So it wasn't separated into individuals or businesses, it was separated as per subject, and that seems to have been quite a popular way to do it. So we've continued with that, and we've got some of those groups have merged, some of them in unseeming kind of ways, like I think food might have merged with transport, or I can't remember the exact groups, but they didn't necessarily seem to go well. But when you start looking at what the challenges are and how we can overcome them, there were so many similarities. So we've continued with those groups, and we've got a website which is sevenoakscan.org.uk, where you can find out more about those. Anyone's free to join those groups. And it's just really growing quite organically. So some of the groups are moving faster than others. Some are organising events to take things further. For example, I'm in the education group. The education group, one of the things we want to do is contact all of the schools within the district and help the schools to share knowledge between them, because there's so much fantastic work already happening in all the businesses and schools, and just bringing it together, I think will just enhance it even more. And the last thing to just say really is the sort of key things that we've got three sort of objectives. One is to build community, so that's all about the collaboration that I've been talking about. The second one is promoting eco-living, so that's going to be about resources and tools that we can give people to overcome the challenges. And the third is campaigning for change. So we recognise that the councils are doing some fantastic things, but in Sevenoaks District Council, for example, haven't committed to declaring a climate emergency in the same way as 10 of the 13 Kent councils have done. So we think that there is quite a lot of scope there, that we need to push this district further to not only be a leader in climate change adaptation, but also to kind of even catch up with some of our local councils. So we certainly want to be doing some lobbying as well. So we have a mailing list, so please feel free to sign up and stay in touch, and we'll share all of your groups across district as well.
Lovely. And I should say, actually, we can share the details of both Roger's spoken already, and Laura's groups. So, just so that people can find out more information if they want to. Thanks, Laura. It's really interesting, actually, how you say that you kind of segregated it into different areas, and that's working really well. So, there's something to think about. Linda, I know you've got your hand up as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to pick up on what Paul was saying about engagement, and obviously we try very hard. We've spent quite a bit of effort putting together this green community investment plan, what we intend to do for Sevenoaks Town and how people can help. Information of that went to every household in the town, so that's several thousand people. And I could have listed beforehand the names of the people who would have replied to that. So it's quite hard. Lots of people are talking about it. Lots of people expressing the point, especially students. The student feedback is very, very good from schools, as was mentioned. But general man, woman in the street actually stepping forward. And I know a lot of people to the CAN meeting and talked about it, but trying to get further engagement is not always as easy as we would like, I think. So
I think students is a big it's a huge area, because they're the ones looking at, they're the next generation. They're, I think definitely for action, it'll be them that, I don't know, my personal opinion. I work closely with a platform called Zella, and they're doing the same. They're kind of targeting the education sector, so that when a student goes into a company, they're the ones that take charge of the sustainability side of things. They're the one that kind of drives that. So it's really interesting.
For an old girl like me, we got a lot of support from young students and work with them, and it's all very easy. But the middle-aged group, maybe just because everyone's busy in their own lives, but there's not a lot of response coming through. So maybe also, councils tend to be truthful. You hear more when people are upset with you. People don't come to a planning meeting and say, we love this planning application. They only come if they're upset about it. So we're sort of taking that as that, those who are reading it are not having a huge objection to what we're planning to do.
Lovely, thanks, Linda. I think, you're, and did you say you were going to share your plan? Did you say you
sent it to the chamber, but I can send it again? So
oh, lovely, thank you. Great. Anything else anyone wants to share before we perhaps go into a breakout room? And
sorry to butt in. Can I say one of the things as an example of that? So we're recruiting for a climate change officer. It's a part-time post, but compared to other posts, haven't had people apply for it, and you just thought that was an interesting post. So just to back up that what is happening, what you hope is happening and what is happening, they two don't always align. So.
Yeah, well, I think, I don't know, I think the more of these kind of groups like Laura's and Roger's and this group here, I think the more that people talk about it, hopefully the more of this kind of middle-aged group that have never really seen it as and this is the thing, someone described it to me actually as like, we've always done things one way, and it's going to take time to shift a mindset of somebody who's always done something the same way. If we've all been in business for 20, 30, 40 years, it's going to take time to shift those ways that we think and that we act. So it's positive. It's positive that we have this group, and we can start our own change happening. So, and also I was just going to say, actually, did everyone want to share their details in the chat box? Obviously, we're going into we're going to go into a breakout room now, but it just allows people to kind of connect with people if they want to. We can save the chat, perhaps send it round to everybody. I don't know if that's a good idea, Dawn, or not, but it sometimes works just for people to connect with everyone. But I feel like it's a good time now just to go into, we're going to go, I think 2 rooms we're going to go into, just so that perhaps we can, anything that we've come across, a few people added some bits into the sign-up boxes, just of useful information, useful websites, just to have a little talk through anything they've seen that they want to add additional to what's already been talked about. And then I can get that kind of fed back to me afterwards. By both myself and Dawn will be in separate rooms. So yeah, we'll just kind of take, I don't know, 10 or 15, maybe 15 minutes, so we can just have a little chat. Everyone can have a chat then, which would be nice. So yeah, happy to split the rooms now, Catherine. Lovely, thank you. I know in our group we had some really good discussions with everybody. We were sharing links in the chat box, so I'm going to save the chat box now. But really do thank you all for kind of giving up your time and coming along and starting or supporting us on our journey with the Chamber to helping everyone on their kind of net zero sustainability journey. I guess kind of keeping in touch and going forward, we're kind of thinking just putting these meetings in quarterly to just continue this knowledge sharing if we see anything else come up that we want to share. Obviously, the website I mentioned that we'll be kind of launching soon with a list of resources on for all of the members in the wider network. I don't know if anyone is up for it. I mean, I've got loads of WhatsApp groups. I do generally quite like them because I can dip in and out as I want to. But if you wanted to perhaps be a part of a WhatsApp group just to continue knowledge sharing in between some of the meetings, then obviously please don't feel like you have to. I know some people have lots of WhatsApp groups, but if you want to, perhaps we'll just get you to respond to Catherine on the info@chamber email, just if you want to be a part of a WhatsApp group with your phone number, just to kind of give that permission to her, we can get that set up. But yeah, thank you very much, and we look forward to kind of seeing you at the next meeting if you can make it. Anything else you want to say, Dawn, before we finish?
And thank you very much, Jade, and thank you all for contributing in on that. And I think this is going to be a very useful forum for continuing to share ideas of just keeping everything together, that we're not working in parallel, that we take the opportunity to be able to share and progress that way. So thank you all very much, and look forward to seeing you in May on the next meeting and talking to you on WhatsApp in the meantime. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Lovely. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.